Good evening. Thank you for being here. Last night we had over 50,000 people downtown who enjoyed fireworks and the opportunity to engage our police officers in a very positive way. Later on that same evening, we had a situation in Broadway where 7 people were shot by an assailant who chose to take matters in their own hand, having bumped into one of our own citizens, and he decided to try to take their life. That same scene, we had 7 victims. We saw officers pull out their trauma kits, put on tourniquets, apply bandages to try to save a life, and calm the scene. That's the work we do as a police department. That's what you pay us to do. But tonight we're here because we lost one. He won't be able to apply a bandage or a tourniquet. He won't be at the next scene. And the question becomes, we as a community, what are we going to do about it? We rolled up our sleeves, ladies and gentlemen, and given you a crime plan that talks about everything under the sun, from helping to identifying to reporting out to making a difference. But we have people in our community, folks, who really don't understand that when we talk about the viciousness of the violence in our community, we have persons who, upon the call of a citizen to shots fired run, upon the arrival of police, thought it fitting to welcome us with an assault weapon. That's unacceptable. I don't know about you, but I'm a little concerned about a city where everyone can come, 50,000 strong, have a wonderful time, and certainly within 24 hours have a young man take the life of the very persons who are trying to protect you. We owe it to his family to honor him tonight, to keep them and IMPD in prayers. We all have to roll up our sleeves and send a message to those people who continue to wreak carnage and harm in our community. That you are not, and that's no longer IMPD is not satisfied, that you as a community are not satisfied. And you're willing to call and let us know where these people are who continue to wreak havoc and violence in our community. It's not a very good time for us right now because, you know why? We just have to ask ourselves a question. Who's going to replace that fine officer? Who's going to be the next one that takes the oath? Who's going to protect him when it comes down to community support? We need you. Thank you. Any questions?
Chief, what can you tell us about Officer Renn?
He didn't run from the scene. He came there with 3 officers responding to the idea of identifying the threat and eliminating that threat. He's a fine, brave officer. His family should be proud of him. We should be proud of him. And we'll honor him as he should be this week.
What can you tell us about Major Davis, sir, the gentleman that shot at him?
Major Davis has major issues, obviously. Where he got off track, we'll probably uncork that and find that. But Major Davis did not have the right to take a fine officer's life this evening.
Is this a person the agencies had run-ins with before? Was he known to officers to be violent?
We're looking at his background and we'll be reporting out, but we'll just say that Major Davis had an assault weapon. That in and of itself says that's a major problem.
Was it an AK-47?
Well, we'll identify the weapon for you, John.
How long did this confrontation last? How violent?
Generally speaking, it doesn't last long. 3 to 5 minutes is generally how most of these things. We'll pinpoint the time, the time of arrival, the direction of shot, the distances, the shots are fired. We'll get all that for you.
Now to the suspect in this case, Major Davis, Jr. He is no stranger to getting into trouble. The 25-year-old's brush with the law goes back as far as 2006 when he was a juvenile. Tonight, our crime beat reporter Steve Jefferson continues our team coverage with the criminal history for the man accused of killing Officer Renn.
Police is pulling up, shots being fired.
Michael Hatcher, a cousin of shooting suspect Major Davis Jr., had no idea he was reportedly carrying the assault rifle that killed Officer Perry Renn.
I don't know where he got the gun from, but it happened. You know, it's never right, and I just don't know.
Police records show since 2006, Major Davis Jr. has had more than a half-dozen run-ins with Metro officers, starting with traffic violations. Narcotic officers arrested Davis and a friend in 2007 and confiscated 2 SKS rifles. That friend claimed the weapons, getting Davis off the hook. In August 2008, officers arrested Davis on drug possession. He served 6 days of a 1-year sentence, and the judge returned him to the street on probation with community service. Davis's background comes as no surprise to officers after the shooting here in the alley. In fact, the last 3 police action shootings involve people who have been in plenty of trouble. On May 30th, double murder suspect Quintico Goolsby opened fire on an officer who returned deadly fire. On May 20th, police exchanged gunfire with armed robbery suspect Raymond Mims when he and Willie Morris tried to get away. And on February 12th, Keith Manuel survived gunshot wounds he sustained shooting at police. As Michael Hatcher now tries to understand his cousin and this latest shooting,
if anything, I could just say I'm grieving with them, you know.
He's also praying for Officer Renn's family. Steve Jefferson, Channel 13, Eyewitness News.
As ER workers monitor Davis's recovery tonight, Metro Police tell us they are working with prosecutors on formal murder charges against him.
This morning, police say the suspect, Major Davis Jr., shot the officer with an assault weapon. Police have not confirmed whether or not Davis was legally able to possess a firearm. Officers say the 25-year-old was initially pronounced dead at Eskenazi Hospital last night, but the medical crews there were able to revive him. At last word this morning, he is listed in critical but stable condition. We've learned the suspect, no stranger to police. Eyewitness News has learned that Major Davis Jr. was arrested twice before. In 2007, he was arrested on drug possession and drug dealing and possession of a machine gun. Charges were never filed in that case. In 2008, he was arrested and pleaded guilty to possession of marijuana. And 13 Investigates has learned that Major Davis Jr. is the son of a man who was killed while in police custody back in 2003. Police say his father, also named Major Davis, attacked officers when they tried to arrest him. Officers then sprayed him with mace. An autopsy shows Davis suffered a heart attack and had a pre-existing heart problem. Relatives, however, tell Eyewitness News a different story. They say Davis was brutally beaten by police while they were placing him under arrest. Also right now, we are waiting for details on Officer Perry Renn's funeral arrangement. As you just heard, we're learning more about what prompted that shooting. We'll continue to follow this developing story for you all morning on Weekend Sunrise, throughout the day as well, on our Facebook page, on Twitter, and also WTHR.com.